Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel for this week's safety recap. Before we get started, make sure that you give me a thumbs up down below here to encourage me to make more videos this type. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel where you will find additional videos of this nature, toolbox safety topic videos, and leadership training videos. And if you find this information useful or interesting, make sure you share it with your colleagues and coworkers. Well, let's go ahead and get started with this week's safety recap. First, I'd like to thank all those who welcomed me onto their job sites this past week. Everyone remains busy, and safety remains paramount in words and actions, and production remains at high quality and quantity. Keep up the good work and continue to be the example that others wish to emulate. Now, there were a few items of safety noted, and I will speak to them after a few words about why it's important to keep your word. Now, I read this article by Neal, Raman, and he has a blog, and it's entitled 5 Reasons Keeping Your Word Will Make Your Life Better. If keeping your word is a value or standard for you, it will lead to better life experiences. Even though it sounds like a simple idea, it's an area that we can easily let ourselves down in. It's an area I've failed in many times. Therefore, I'm always evaluating how I can improve. What does keeping your word mean? Keeping your word means doing what you say you'll do. It's agreeing to follow through on a commitment. We can think of it as a verbal contract between two people. If we give our word the same level of importance as a written contract, it will be easier to do what we've agreed to. Why do we struggle to keep our word? We often forget how powerful our words are and not follow through on something we've committed to. Reasons we struggle to keep our word include: we're not intentional about the words we use. We forget what we've said or agreed to. We're unaware we've agreed to something. We're unwilling to negotiate what we've committed to do. We don't want to do what we said we would do. We overcommit ourselves and not allow enough time to do what we said we would. We shift our attention to something else without understanding the implications of our commitments. When we pay more attention to the words we use and what we're committing to, keeping our word will not be an issue. What's the cost of not keeping your word? Not keeping our word will affect our relationships with ourselves and others. A few years ago, my friend and colleague Katie Sparrow and I led a collaborative book project called Ignite Your Leadership. As we discussed who to invite to take part in the project, we defined a few criteria to be eligible. Kathy mentioned one colleague that had not kept his word with me twice. When it happened the first time, I thought he forgot about it and didn't give it any further thought. The second time he didn't follow through on something he said he would do, it made me cautious. When his name came up as a potential collaborator, it was an easy decision to rule him out. That was an example of a cost of not keeping your word. When we don't keep our word, costs can include missed opportunities, damaged relationships, having a reputation as an unreliable person, conflict with others, experiencing guilt or remorse. Knowing these costs should make us more aware of what we're saying or agreeing to. Here are 5 reasons keeping your word will improve your life. When we become a person who keeps their word, we'll create new experiences. Here are 5 reasons you should always keep your word. You will develop a higher level of self-trust. A higher level of self-trust means greater self-respect, self-worth, and self-integrity. If we trust ourselves more, others are more likely to trust us, and we're more likely to trust others. Number 2, you will deepen your relationship with others. The relationships we have with others reflect the relationship we have with ourselves. As we improve the relationship we have with ourselves, we'll also create stronger relationships with others. Number 3, you will not have to deal with regret or guilt. If we follow through on what we say we will do, we don't have to worry about feeling guilty or regretful. That will help our mental state and lead to an improved attitude. Number 4, you will be more thoughtful about the words you use. There will not be misinterpretations or misunderstandings. It will also help us be more explicit with our communication. Number 5, you will be more selective about what you agreed to do. When we have an identity of a person who keeps their word, making decisions will become easier. We'll know what to say yes or no to. Here's some ways to get better at keeping your word. Most times, keeping our word comes down to our priorities or what we consider important. Things we can do to keep our word include: ask intelligent questions. This means we must clarify something if we're unclear about something. Know the reasons why we want to agree to something. This means understanding the payoffs and cost of doing or not doing it. Manage our priorities well. This means having a system or method to track what we have to do. In conclusion, failing to keep your word communicates our values and standards. It also communicates if we value others. Every time we don't keep our word, it affects us and also affects how others perceive us. If we want to improve our self-image and self-esteem, becoming a person who keeps their word is essential. Not keeping our word is a demonstration of disrespecting ourselves. Here's an action step. If you've experienced regret or guilt for not keeping your word with someone, take the necessary steps to correct the situation. Make a promise to yourself that you're a person who will always keep their word. And here's a question. What are other reasons keeping your word will make your life better? On with the recap. Let's talk about pre-demolition engineering survey. The standard states prior to starting demolition operations, a written engineering survey of the structure shall be made by qualified persons to determine the type and condition of the framing, floors, and walls so that actions can be taken if needed to prevent premature collapse of any portion of the structure. Along with the pre-demolition survey, have other items been taken care of, such as the 10-day notification, the demolition permitting, and the call before you dig? Make sure those things happen. Now let's talk about electrical cords. Inspect electrical cords prior to use. Check for damaged or missing insulation. Repairs to insulation must be made to OEM specs. Wrapping damaged areas in electrical tape is not permitted. Inspect to ensure that ground pins are intact. Keep cords out of the path of travel to prevent damage to the cord and becoming a trip hazard for foot traffic. Next, let's talk about working near heavy equipment. Follow these safety tips when working with heavy equipment on the construction site to ensure you stay productive and maintain an accident-free job site. Equipment operator training. Be aware of your surroundings. Entering and exiting equipment. Inspect equipment before use. Use equipment only as intended. Wear your seatbelt. All right, boys and girls, that's it for this week's safety recap. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for watching. Make sure that you give me a thumbs up down below here to encourage me to make more videos of this type. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel where you will find additional videos of this nature, toolbox safety topic videos, and leadership training videos. And if you found this information useful or helpful, make sure you share it with your colleagues and co-workers. And remember, until we see each other again, take care of yourself because you're number one. Look out for your co-workers and help ensure their safety. Have a grateful day, and I will see you in the field. All right. Well, that's it. Listen, keeping your word. People want to be able to rely on you, count on you, whether it's your boss or your wife or your child, a friend, anyone that when you make a commitment, make sure that you follow through, make sure that you keep your word. It'll improve who you are. It'll make people give you a better character reference. It'll make your life better all the way around. Anyway, if there's a specific video you'd like to see on a specific safety subject, leave a note down below in the comments, and I'll get on that and we'll get you something going. If you have a specific question, safety question, put it in the comments below, and we'll dig up the references and get you trained on that as well. Remember, if these videos can be used as a toolbox safety topic meeting on your job site for your crew and for your company. The things to remember is to create a sign-in sheet and date it. Reference the video, whether it's this one, I've got several more, or other people make videos. Reference the video. Have your people watch it. Maybe have a brief discussion, have them sign off on it, and that becomes a document that you can hand over to OSHA to verify that you do continuing training in hazard recognition and hazard mitigation for your team, for your job site, and for your company. And if you'll watch to the very end of this, I'll leave in some of those Easter eggs, maybe some more of the Grand Canyon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a grateful day, and I will see you in the field. Stop recording.